Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak Easy, Travel Far. I'm Jake, your resident language nerd, and with me, as always, is Nina, who's been to more countries than I've had hot dinners.
I mean, if your dinners are as adventurous as my travels, Jake, that's a LOT of countries. Hey everyone, today we are diving into how to express yourself like a local when you're traveling. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to sound like they just memorized a phrasebook, right?
Absolutely. There's nothing worse than busting out your "where is the bathroom?" only to realize you sound like a confused robot. We want you sounding natural, maybe even getting a nod of approval from the locals. So, Nina, let's kick things off. When you land in a new country, what's the first thing you try to say in the local language?
Oh, great question. I always try to master a warm greeting, like hello, good morning, or how are you? But I want to know, why do those little details matter so much? Can't we just rely on English these days?
You know, English will get you pretty far, but it's like showing up to a party and only saying hi to the host. When you use even a few local words, you're showing respect and curiosity. For example, in Japan, a simple konnichiwa gets you a smile, but a yoroshiku onegaishimasu, which means please treat me well in a business or new relationship, can totally change the vibe.
That's so true. And sometimes, just making the effort breaks the ice. I remember trying to order coffee in Italy and accidentally asking for un café grande, which is not a thing. Cue the barista's eyebrow. So Jake, what's the trick for sounding more natural, not just memorized?
Fantastic example. The key is to listen for how locals actually speak. Textbooks might say, "I would like to order a coffee," but locals probably just say, "un café, per favor." And then there are those little fillers, words like well, or so. In Spanish, you'll hear pues or entonces all the time. It's like seasoning your speech. Just a sprinkle makes it tastier.
I love that analogy. So, if I'm in Spain and want to ask for directions, instead of launching into, "Could you please tell me where the museum is?" what would sound more natural?
You'd hear, "Perdona, el museo?" or "Oi, ¿dónde está el museo?" Super casual, very direct. And if you want to blend in even more, throw in a porfa instead of por favor. It's like saying thanks instead of thank you here.
That's gold. Speaking of blending in, I once heard that hand gestures can get you in trouble. Any stories there?
Oh, absolutely. In Greece, giving someone a thumbs up isn't as positive as you'd think. And the OK sign in Brazil, yeah, let's not do that. I once tried to say delicious in Italy by kissing my fingers, and apparently I signaled wait a moment instead. Lesson learned. Watch, don't just speak.
So it's not just about the words, but the whole vibe, intonation, gestures, even facial expressions. Okay, let's get practical. What's a phrase you always learn wherever you go, besides hello and thank you?
Sorry, my insert language is not very good. Can you speak slowly? That phrase is a lifesaver. In French, it's "Désolé, mon français n'est pas très bon. Vous pouvez parler lentement." The magic is, locals usually appreciate the honesty and will either help you out or slow down.
That's brilliant. And it takes the pressure off. I always try to learn, "I don't understand. Can you repeat that?" Because, let's face it, I usually need it. So, Jake, what about slang or idioms? Should we even attempt those as visitors?
If you're feeling brave, a well-placed idiom can score major points. But, and this is key, use them sparingly. I remember trying to say, "It's raining cats and dogs," in German, and my friend just looked confused. Turns out they say, "Es regnet beim Faden." It's raining ropes. So, best to learn a couple of local expressions and try them out in the right context.
I love that. Speaking of context, have you ever totally embarrassed yourself with a language mix-up?
Oh, do I have stories? Once in Mexico, I wanted to say, "I'm embarrassed." So I said, "Estoy embarazado." The waiter's eyes went wide. That means, "I'm pregnant," in Spanish. Cue awkward silence and a very red face.
That's a classic. Listeners, if you've had a language fail, please send them our way. We might just share them on air. Okay, Jake, let's get into some discussion points. First, what's the deal with register in different cultures? Like, when to be formal or informal?
Great point. Some languages, like French and German, have distinct formal and informal you, vous, and tu, si, and do. If you walk into a bakery in Paris and say "tu es du pain" instead of "vous avez du pain," you might get a frosty look. It's a bit like calling your boss by their first name on day one. The trick: start formal, then let the other person invite you to be informal.
That makes sense. And in countries like Korea or Japan, formality is even more baked in, right?
Absolutely. In Japan, you use different verb endings and vocabulary depending on the relationship. Even your bow changes, deeper for elders or superiors. In Korea, you've got honorifics and polite endings. It's like a whole extra layer of the language, but people appreciate the effort, even if you get it a bit wrong.
So, if you're not sure, err on the side of polite. Got it. Next up, making small talk. Some places love it, some not so much. What's your take?
You nailed it. Americans and Australians are champions of small talk, weather, sports, weekend plans. In Scandinavia, though, small talk can seem pointless. I once tried chatting with a Swede about the rain, and he just nodded and walked away. In some cultures, people jump straight to the point. So, read the room.
That's so true. I remember in Argentina, people wanted to know my life story within 5 minutes, but in Finland, it was all business. So, would you recommend preparing a few safe topics before you travel?
Definitely. Food is always a winner. Ask about local dishes or the best place to eat. Compliment something. "Your city is beautiful" goes a long way. Just avoid politics and religion unless you know the person well. And remember, enthusiasm is infectious.
Love it. Now, before we go on, let's dive into a question from one of our listeners. Maria from Toronto asks, what do you do if you totally freeze up and forget your words in the middle of a conversation?
Great question, Maria. First off, don't panic. It happens to everyone. I like to use what I call the language charade. Gesture, point, use facial expressions, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Most people appreciate the effort and will try to help. You can also say, "Sorry, I forgot the word for," and describe it. Sometimes playing it cool is the best strategy.
I've definitely been there, Maria. Sometimes I just mime eating when I forget fork or a spoon. It works eventually. And honestly, half the fun is in those moments. Jake, what's your favorite charade success story?
Once in Thailand, I forgot the word for umbrella. I ended up holding my hands over my head and making rain sounds. The shopkeeper cracked up and handed me an umbrella. Laughter is the universal language, I swear.
I bet you made her day. Okay, let's have some fun with language fails. One time in France, I tried to say, I'm full after dinner and said, Je suis plein. My friend burst out laughing. That means I'm drunk or I'm knocked up if you're an animal. Oops.
That's a classic. I once tried to say, I'm hot in Spanish and said estoy caliente, which actually means I'm feeling frisky. Not, it's warm. The shopkeeper winked at me. Lesson: Google Translate can't save you from everything.
Listeners, if you want to avoid these pitfalls, here are our key takeaway tips. Jake, hit us with your top 3.
1. Learn essential phrases, but listen to how locals actually use them. 2. Start formal, then adjust as you pick up the vibe. 3. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Most people will appreciate the effort and help you out.
And I'd add, use gestures and expressions to fill the gaps. Keep topics light unless you know the culture well. And always bring your sense of humor. Remember, you're not just learning words, you're connecting with people.
Couldn't have said it better. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe. And send us your funniest travel language stories. We might feature you next time.
Thanks for joining us on Speak Easy, Travel Far. Until next time, keep talking, keep laughing, and travel like a local.